So this is our BuzzGPT app, and today we'll be showing our cloud security configuration. So this is our BuzzGPT VPCs, and based on the resource map, you can see that we have created 4 subnets using our CloudFormation template. And in it, we have 4 different route tables, but we are only using public route table 1 and private route table 1. And then we have one internet gateway linked to our public route table so that our public subnet is able to access the internet. Moving on to the subnet, I want to have more focus on the different availability zone that we set up for our VPCs. So we have US East 1A and US East 1B, both containing public subnet, public and private subnet. So public is US East 1A, private is public and private 2 is US East 1B. And then for our application, at first we were using Net Gateway, but we found that it was expensive because you are charged by the time from the time you create it to the time you delete it. So we decided to use a net instance because it was more suitable for us to keep our costs low during the development progress. So for the net instance, we use the community net VPC net AMI because AWS does not have the official AMI for net instances in their official AMI list anymore. So we configured the API, the net instance in public subnet 1, which is basically where our BuzzGPT instance is in the private so that it can like connect to the net instance and then it can get access to the internet. Then we have a total of like 4 different instances, and I'll be showing how we connect and upload our applications to BuzzGPT instance 1. So I'm now in the PuTTY. You can see that I connected to Bastion host 1 first, which is 10.0.1.116 private. And then I'm connecting to BuzzGPT instance 1, which is 10.0.3.154. And then inside BuzzGPT instance 1, we have the cloud module where all our applications are being stored. It is uploaded from our GitHub. So inside our if config, you can see that we are running our application on localhost within our BuzzGPT instance 1. Now I'll hand over the time to Englin.
Okay. So my part. So this view usually will show that our website is being protect ACM certificate. So we kind of fulfill the requirement of the data in transit part. So basically, we have a custom DNS name from that we kind of bought using GoDaddy. Then basically, we use the ACM to request a certificate and to authorize our connection. I mean, basically, is all in all is basically to let the users feel more safer when they are trying to access our website. Yeah. And then moving on, we'll show you the AWS config part. So in AWS config is basically is for us to track our AWS resources to be compliant against certain kind of rules. So to bring you to the attention, or as an example, basically this rule that you are seeing right now is to track the application load balance resource. So basically, you can read from the yep. So that's a load balancer that we are tracking. So uh, just to read from the line, so this rule right is to track whether is our ALB header whether is it valid or not. So if it's not valid, then this issue will become non-compliant, which means something happens. So with a non-compliance, obviously we can choose to add remediation measures. So as you know, in our from our labs, usually we can choose to use custom Lambda rules to track specific or custom resources according to your own requirement, and then remediate accordingly. But in our case, since this is a AWS managed config rule, we use the system manager to create a run book to remediate this part. Yeah. So to move on to the another part of section is we also manage to use CloudWatch alarms. So these two CloudWatch alarm that we do is basically to track the CPU utilization rate for our resources. So as you see in the highlighted portion, these are the rules. So basically, to explain briefly, is that if it's the threshold is when it's more than 80%, an alarm will be created and pushed to a SNS topic, and the SNS topic will go to push the notifications or messages to our email. So this is what happens when our CPU utilization rate is more than 80%, and all this detail can be glanced from this simple email message. And basically, it's act as a notification for us lah. You can even see the timestamp, which account is having a problem, and basically, let's say in the real case scenario where we see this message, then we can quickly log into our AWS account and uh, hopefully to track it or remediate the incidents. Yep. So one last thing I would say is we to adhere to the principle of least privilege, we create a specific user for us to configure those relevant resources. So as you can glance from all these policies that we have attached to is SNS, VPC, basically all those resources that we need for our project. Then we also have a custom policy, customer managed policy, which allow us to access the EC2, Lex, RDS, and Lambda.
So
So
this
this is the
user is added to this user group, and all the permissions are the same as what you have seen in the user. So let's say if I were to create another user and add it to this group, it will have the same permissions that is listed in here, and you have the same permissions as Bash GPT project.
I think this ends off our presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.